As COVID-19 rules and restrictions ramp up across the nation, there are now more calls for a vaccine mandate on domestic air travel.
Bronx Congressman Ritchie Torres says we need to make immunization a condition to fly. He is behind new legislation that would require proof of vaccination to board flights right here in the U.S.
Congressman Torres joins us right now this morning. Nice to have you back on Good Day New York.
Always a pleasure to be here.
So what's going on with this new mandate, and why do you think we need it?
Well, the pace of vaccination in the United States has collapsed from July 24th to September 9th. The vaccination rate only grew by 4% compared to 25% in Japan. So we've lost momentum, and doing the same thing over and over again will bring us no closer to regaining momentum. So in my opinion, we have to do more. We have to act more aggressively to break the cycle of COVID-19. The virus is spreading and mutating every day, and the longer it is left to mutate, the greater the risk of a new strain or a new variant that evades the vaccine.
I totally understand it, but you know, the feds can't even get their own workers to take the vaccine. Why are private businesses, why is, the airlines now, why are restaurants now, why do they have to be the COVID police when the feds can't even get their own workers to take the vaccine?
Look, there's no hope for breaking the cycle of coronavirus infection without vaccine mandates. In the 20th century
But shouldn't it
alone,
start at home, Congressman? Shouldn't it start in D.C. as a way to this is the model?
We're in a public health emergency. We do not have the luxury of time, and vaccine mandates are the only hope for breaking the cycle of COVID-19. And there's nothing unusual about vaccine mandates. All 50 states have vaccine mandates for polio and smallpox and diphtheria and pertussis and chickenpox. So vaccine mandates are the historical norm. Smallpox would have never been eradicated from the world. Polio would have never been eradicated from the United States were it not for the power of vaccine mandates. So I consider vaccine mandates a miracle of modern medicine, saving billions of lives from senseless suffering and premature death.
Congressman Torres, how likely is it that the federal government has legal authority to do this?
I'm confident that the federal government would have legal authority with respect to air travel. You do have the Transportation Security Authority, which is charged with ensuring the safety of everyone on airlines and airplanes. I'm confident the president actually has the authority to mandate. Supreme Court cases dating back to 1904 have established the right of the government to impose a vaccine, particularly in a public health emergency.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that, more people getting the vaccine is a better situation, a better outcome for us. But I think the problem is that this federal mandate still does not apply to Americans on welfare, illegal immigrants, 200,000 of them coming in July alone in the southern border, to Congress, 535 members of them, which is well over the 100-member threshold. But talking about the Americans on welfare, 59 million Americans. Should we not be focusing on that rather than people trying to get on planes?
Well, the vaccine mandate for air travel would apply to every American, regardless of your immigration status or your welfare status. You would have to show proof of vaccination in order to board a plane, just like we show our identification in order to board a plane. So it would apply to everyone.
So, okay, I also want to talk about the border a little bit. As you know, Texas is a mess. I think that would be an adjective that everybody would use right now, right, Congressman?
It's a challenging situation at the border, there's no question. And look, every so often, there are waves of migrants coming to the southern border. And it's an unmanageable situation because we're also coping with an infectious disease outbreak.
I know, and that's what a lot of people are talking about. They're like, how are these people allowed to come into our country when we're all being told that we need to have a vaccine mandate, and they're being asked, do you want a vaccine?
Look, I think the most challenging part of the border situation is children. What do you do when unaccompanied minors come to the border, right? Do you expel children? Or do you take a humane approach and create a process by which those children are provided with shelter and then reconnected with their families? So I'm not going to deny that the situation on the border is challenging, but I consider it a distraction from the larger conversation about vaccines. We have to break the cycle of coronavirus infection. There's going to be no return to normal life without bolstering mass vaccination in the United States. Among the 7 wealthiest democracies in the world, the United States has the lowest rate of vaccination. We're lagging behind.
Well, listen, we got our vaccines. We're okay with it, you know, and, you know, we're waiting to find out whether we need a booster at some point. And speaking of vaccines, I don't know, there's some talk that maybe a few people were at the Met Gala last week may have come down with COVID. One of your counterparts, AOC, was there, as you know. She made quite a splash at the Met Gala last week. Have you had any desire to go to the Met Gala?
Never in my life, nor will I ever.
Why is that, Congressman?
A nauseating affair.
Why would you like to continue skipping that gala?
I'm a happier man without the Met Gala in my life. So I just find it to be a nauseating experience, and I would never want to go to the Met Gala at all.
All right. Well, you heard from him.
All right, there you go.
I'm a humble guy from the Bronx.
I know. Well, AOC says she's a humble person from the Bronx too, right?
Working class.
We all have our preferences. So.
Congressman Ritchie Torres, thank you so much for keeping an eye on, well, on our area while you're in New York. We appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, you too. All right, yeah, I guess, you know.
A nauseating affair. Oh.